Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to AstralGames Day 102 Pillars of Eternity Episode 2. And Dutch Nonsense, welcome to the channel, sir. How are you doing? In part 1 we have reached this town and we have explored it, or at least we're exploring it, I should say, for side quests, side activities, side thingies. You name it.
Sure.
And we're about to enter the inn, which is usually the place to get side quests in games like this. So let's go. Hey ho, let's go. Can't remember if I saved though, so let's do that. I keep forgetting to save at crucial moments like this, right before entering an inn. Nice and dry here, good. Anyone seen Pearly around? He's usually drinking his head off. The Dutch Nonsense, welcome to the Prophets and thank you so much for the follow and the support. Likes to read yes. Yeah, this is a story-based stream, yeah. The floorboards are sticky with spills that no one has bothered to clean. Ugh.
Are you sure? How may I help?
I want to do the talking wizard. Okay, so that's pup proper, I assume. Oh hey, that's Tenfred, the guy we saw.
Greetings.
Hello and welcome to the innkeeper looks up. Oh, it's you. Tenfred told us what you did for him. Such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough. Consider yourself a favorite of the house. Discount on drinks, rooms. Tenfred said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen. So, what would you like? I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let's see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We got a lot of new faces here too. Fewer than we used to, I'll admit. Well, if you start hanging up new faces on a tree, on a gallows, that's obviously you'll get less faces. Duh. Tenfred's the big draw. I'm sure we'll get big crowds back again in no time. Not with the town outside. I used to work the tables actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? The Black Hound? He's still sitting upstairs, pinning after him. Poor girl. Poor old gal. Place ended up in my hands somehow. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink? A room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by the way of a good meal today. Unless you're fond of cold porridge. I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? I need to kill a bear in a cave. I need a party for that. Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by and looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Let me see what I have to work with. A level 1 adventurer? You don't have enough money to recruit a level 1 adventurer? Recruit adventure, store. Party management. From the party management screen you can see what your allies are up to when they aren't in the party. If you've assigned them to adventures, you can see how long it will take for them to complete their assignment. Recalling a companion or adventurer from a mission before it's complete will forfeit all the potential rewards. That's fine. Inns allow characters to rest without using camp supplies. Cheap rooms are usually available, but if you have copper to spend, you may consider the more expensive options. The bonuses they provide last for a longer time and affect the entire party. Okay. Well, we'll see about that in a minute. Let's go talk to the dwarf we rescued earlier on. Ah, it's you, my savior. It's so good to be back. And why is the wizard still talking? Damn it. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of my most closely guarded secrets. My dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. A savory pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels.
Follow me.
I will name this dish in your honor. The Talos
Sure.
dish.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps I find some. Yeah, now I'm talking. Okay, cool. Beer! Beer! Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Well, I don't think he minds us taking the beer. At least we saved him. We rescued him, so sure he'll be fine with it. Milk? Grain. Oh man, there's a whole cooking thing in this game. He's talking still. Wish we had some minstrels in here. I'm a minstrel. Good to see new faces around. Feels like the village gets smaller by the day. Used to have a lot more fortune tellers come through. Lord Raedric had them chased off. Beg pardon, sir. Don't have much time for talking. Anyone seen Pearly around? He's dead. Feels like we've seen more bandits along the road. Yep, more bandits, more bears, killing people. Thought this place was going under after the owner left, but it's held out. And who are you then? Another fool to answer Redric's invitation? Our great lord had my sister run out of town after the boy was born. She was the only family I had left. Not sure where she is now. Blazes, I need another drink. Scroll of Fan of Flames. Development of a Crucible Knight. I have 2 lore, right? Yeah, my lore is 4. Pah! I can use that scroll easily. Oh. Oh. Named NPCs. We all know what that means. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures and herbs are scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack, one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can into the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the warehouse. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen. Anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Ooh. She had some bad youth. As you near another essence, let's see. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he's doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking towards the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There's a sudden explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he loses his last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind his shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The boys stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Ooh, it's a hunt. It's a hunter. It's a master hunter. So let's go visit the dog upstairs. Oh, not just the dog. Of course not. What's that story you told again with the tall fellow and the wee lass? You mean the Amau captain and the Orlan cabin boy? What? No, not... Well, hold on. Tell us that one first. Grab a drink, friend. Not much else of worth in this town, says the woman from Thane. Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Thane. Okay, so that's just a dead end thing. Even more visions. Wow. Prepare to read visions, guys.
I've got it. Finished.
Boom. Get me that lockpick. The Direwood Part 1. Early history. Oh boy. Crammed behind the books is a drawing that shows Eothas and Lord Raedric in a compromising position. Roaches scatter and flee under the crates. Alright.
I've got it. Finished.
Yeah, I'm just picking locks here, you see. Hey, get out of here. Please, leave me be. I'm full sickness with what I've seen of this place and its people. Okay. But I'm just taking stuff. Don't worry. Alright. More visions. Here we go. Deathlock Nayetab. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. Quiet, isn't it? Yeah, it's Hey, Demon Eye, what's up? In the corner, three smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger man in the center. He breaks a chair over the tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in three parts of the room, and with a terse nod they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all three slump to the ground in an agony that's all in their minds. Ooh. The burly man bows to a room of unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out, off-key whistle trailing behind him. chain shakes. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at the wall. A man in a dark coat walks in, a scroll and an oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him, expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. The man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. The boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp angular symbols from the scroll. The child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into its skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes black like holes. The twitch is growing into convulsive shakes. Ugh. Yep, I had a good time visiting England, didn't I? It was really cool. All the dramatic writing, yeah. I know. Got to meet Philip, Binary, Sky, and Strel, and got to stream with Philip, where I planted the StarCraft bug, which now plagues him. Was a great stream with Philip. Yeah, the dual cast was amazing. Here we go again. Last one, guys, last one. You see a long, empty road cutting through two large crop fields. It's Sila Amen. The air is silent, and the land seems too still for an early afternoon. The woman walks slowly on the road, leading a horse, curiously looking around. She seems to sense something wrong, but is unable to discern what it is. My English is blah. She stops, sniffing in the air, her nose high. Her brow crinkles and she casts about, looking for something. The air is clear, no clouds. She sniffs again, still looking around, confusion clouding her face, mouthing a single word. Fire? Astral piles on the dramatic with his voice, yeah? Of course. She looks out across the fields, her confusion turning to fear. She holds her hand up to block the sun from her eyes and scans the field again. Not finding what she was looking for, she jumps onto her horse's back, the fear quickly becoming panic. She kicks, sending the horse shooting down the path, which bends around some trees to where the farmhouse should be. She pulls up short, horror now in residence on her face as she stares at the burned and charred mess that used to be her family's home. Tears well in her eyes as she kicks again, racing to the rubble. Ooh. Yep, there's a mod wall. A mod wall! But that's no problem, of course. There it is, the Black Hound! These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. Hey! Doge! Aww. This hound stares intently at the covered window, his head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. Pet the dog. The dog still thumps happily against the floorboards. I don't need a dog. Do I need a dog? Here, girl. The dog's ears perk up. It trots over to you and barks happily. It's in the inventory. Oh man. Awesome. It is in the inventory, of course. Ta-da! There it is, the Doge. Of course pets appear in the inventory in this game. That's totally realistic. +1 Doge, yeah? Ooh! This is the back of the inn. Oh no, it's the upper part. I see. I see, I see. Well, I'm taking the Doge with me. Did you hear the bells? Bad news, I think. Yeah, pretty much. And then I told her that's not the pistol. Oh god. I heard they fended off another attack on Lord Radiac's keep. You'd think these rains would be boon for the crops. I think she'll say yes, oh boy. Dude. Tanus is one of the best smiths, yeah. This game looks good, yep. Yeah, the graphics are amazing. Oh, Fua's house? Can we get there? We can get there. A cat. Ooh, can we get a cat? Yeah, audiobook. Sorta. This worn dog-eared book is titled Travels Upon Glass Sea. There's an etched illustration of a vast, finned leviathan. A dire wooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself. Or perhaps her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Hello.
Well, finally, I was starting to think. The woman makes a startled noise when she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was expecting someone else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help you? I just arrived. I thought I'd like to know the locals. Nice cat. I'd like to know the locals. Where were you with one of the caravans? Master Odemas, by any chance? You knew Odema? Well, no more than most here, I'd say. He doesn't usually come this way. But they say he's a reliable old fellow. She pauses, brows furrowing. Wait, why do you say new? Sorry, the rest of the caravan was attacked. I was the only one to survive. Aura covers her mouth with a hand, eyes wide with horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. Oh shit. Her husband was with the caravan. Quite pregnant, yeah. I knew. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kalishka was always so certain she could take on any danger. Oh shit. Afra sniffs. My poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger, I can't believe she's gone. Crap. We killed her sister. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. Afra's face crumples and a solitary tear slides down her cheek. That she thought you needed help, perhaps I can provide some assistance. Quit sniveling! How are you going to raise a child if you're this weak? Is there anything I can do? Afra looks at you with some surprise before dabbing her nose with her sleeve. It's kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I could impose this on you. It is not a small favor. Gravecrawler! Thank you for the host, sir. Another great team member of mine, the Gravecrawler. While we're talking about team members, I think most of the entire team is now in chat. The Gravecrawler, Bookfish35, Binary Ferret, and Philip Rich. Follow all of them. They're great team members. Feel free to spam the chat for a bit with follow commands. Nominam as well. Great team member. So, yeah. Follow all the team members. Kaleidoscope Gaming. Yo, Grave, what's up, man? How do you do? Afra wipes her eyes. I'm worried about the baby. About the legacy. I told Kalishka as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers. And Lord Raedric. He's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor. She sniffs. With my Hathor gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lose my home too. Spam disordered, excellent. Follow all the Kaleidoscope Gaming dudes. And do that. I hoped Kaliska could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child from being hollowborn. But she moved south to Anslog's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am. But I don't have anyone else. Now with Kaliska gone. Please, can you help me? What's in this for me? Ooh! We are actually kinda playing that character. I'll think about it if I ever had that way. What's in this for me? I can only offer you a coin, but Ragnar has many potions and crafts for sale. Maybe you'll find something of interest? So it wouldn't be a wasted trip. I'm sorry, I don't have much. You're welcome to some of my food, if you want. I have some fruit. I'll find her for you. You will? Oh gods bless you. Here, I'll give you a coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of... Well, I'm not sure. But it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry it back. Yes, Yehuda Creative was their last destination. Anslog's Compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it myself. Thank you again, truly. You'll be saving us both. Ah, smiling through her tears. Why are we thanking Phil? For him just being him. That's why we're right. So I can now... My hound is okay with cats? Okay. We know my hound is now okay with cats. What do you think you're doing? You've been caught stealing. What? We could help you. We could help ourselves to the food. Just... Fine. See ya. Help yourselves to my food. What? You're stealing. Alright. Fine. Fine. Some bipolar people in this town. Alright. Let's go to... These are all villagers, they all say... Oh! Oh! Hey, Chamberlain. I wonder if I can ask Twitch to add a new game to the library. I don't know if you can. Sexy Phil time is not a game. Rudolphia Necatore. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. Their owner, a slightly hook-nosed man with wicked grin and narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered head at a nearby merchant as he ambles by, a small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods with a select few, always smiling, laughing, exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Amawa, smile plastered stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face far more genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and trundles off with a new spring in his step. Ooh. Sky sock. Yeah. too near. There we go. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head, holding it close around his neck. The crowd has congregated around the platform and they all watch, transfixed, as a man is led to the platform, flanked by 2 city guardsmen. The man is shackled, hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman, not deigning to even glance at the crowd. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen. A crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read, but the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice grows louder and more intense as he reads, and the voice from the crowd starts to punctuate his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent, and with each one, the cloaked man flinches and his shoulders droop. He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard as the crier reaches the end of the proclamation. The crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. Yeah, I've been practicing, Wolf. I've been practicing. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There's a wet thunk and the crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. Your father has been murdered. I find it pretty fun. Heroes of the Storm. As esports you find it, yeah, maybe, I don't know. I haven't watched esports casts of it yet. This bottle of Solemn Reed is half empty. Okay. This man and woman appear to have been deep conversation, working at closing 2 bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices you approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Good day, stranger.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Nonton? Yes, I think we met in Valenwood. I warned him about the bear. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? Is there anything you can tell me? Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can. You have seen the tree, I imagine, but the rot goes deeper. If you are looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves. You seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay and... well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. It's time for some new scenery.
How do you do?
Okay, so people are just leaving town. Interesting. Well, I would with a tree like that. People getting hanged and stuff for that for apparently no reason. The villager, that's fine. Uh-oh. When the game has automatic motions, it's like, oh crap, something's going to happen. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. The first of you drunkards come through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swenya. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away for now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull. and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. Against the grain, investigate the feud. Okay. Let's see what Svenjur has to say for himself. And we can just walk in. He like blocked the door, but we can just walk in like that. Interesting. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back, if you value your life. Hold on, I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates and lowers the club. Wait, I know you. You just came into town, right? Don't tell me Svenjur's already got his claws into you. Gods, that's all I need. I thought you could use some help. I don't like being threatened. That's like the standard sentence in every conversation here. Who's Svenjur? The dwarf, the one standing out there spreading lies amongst the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades and he hasn't gotten any kinder in time. Still don't know who it is though. I thought you could use some help. These people out there seem pretty angry. Really? Helia's tits. I could use a... Could I use a friendly face? I take it you heard some part of what the crowd's asking for. Grain. As if I've got it all tucked away somewhere. Svenjur's been egging that lot on for days now. They've been keeping clear so far, but if things keep on like they are, I don't know how much longer we've got before things get messy. Please, if you're not here on his behalf, maybe you could speak to Svenjur. He won't listen to me anymore. Just explain we're getting all smaller rations now. We're all making sacrifices. I had some other questions. Yes. What was that ruckus outside? Where to begin? Svenjur's whipped them into a froth, going on about grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Blackhound on the west side of town, for ale. At Svenjur's lot, sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way to town. The crop's blighted, and most of what I've been getting from farmers. Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers. It's gone off, rotten through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Svenjur's howling after the things he has no right to. I'll go talk to Svenjur then. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having hard times of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you can convince him. A rancid stench rises from this grain. It's mushy and mottled with grain. So, yeah. I'm assuming grain's in short supply these days. The Black Hammer Smithy. Quests. Against the grain. Yeah. You have to go see Svenjur. Yeah, I did see the drop in World of Warcraft subscribers, yeah. It was on the news in my on my regular news site this morning. A scepter, two-handed. 10-15. I did have a rod of some such. 12-17. This is 10-14. No, I don't have a news site. I just read. I just read particular news sites. I don't have a news site nor host one. Alright, so Blackhammer Smithery. Okay. Oh boy. Lol, that picture. Alright. Let's go to the smithery and blow it to smithereens! Wasn't you gonna launch one? No. No ideas like that. No plans like that whatsoever. Not at all. A commoner. Not many people here these days, just me. And Lord Radric's people, of course. Speak to Master Tuatanu if you want something. Sorry, I have to keep this or Tuatanu may have my hide on the rack next. Yeah. Oh, more visions. Look at that. The bellows sigh into the furnace, and the coals burn brighter still. Okay, more visions! Dragon Steel Collar. You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd of attacking Zorips. This man with them, seemingly unconcerned by battle, even detached from it as he stands in the middle of his comrades, chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatants as a rich counterpoint to the chaos of their fighting. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His allies glow with a pulsing blue light, freezing the Zorips that surround him. A blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting and burning the creatures and sending them scattering. One of the fallen Zorips suddenly explodes as three giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attack the remaining enemies. The man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to one. His allies stand back as the man approaches it, still chanting. He removes his hammer and swings it at the Zorip. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with its head, punctuating the spell and bringing his song to an end. Ooh. Harlan Orison. You see a man crouching, surreptitious and alone, a series of untamed shrubs, all that hide him from the vision ahead. His eyes are locked on a Delamgan, beautiful and terrible, eyes half-lidded as she hums. A bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trifling gently, and the man is entranced. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquility is broken by the bird's startled squawk. The Delamgan half smiles, beckoning with twig-like fingers. She does not speak as he approaches. His mouth is dripping sounds of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting, and with agonizing slowness he is before her. Then something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side and begins to hiss. Fingers suddenly claws and eyes black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she is gone. The only evidence of her existence, the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless and begins to chant, but the words of a magical language of his own imagining scribbled in a maniacal shorthand, ring hollow, and the silence continues unabated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something, but if there is something there, you do not see it. Ooh. Those visions, man. This Amao is of impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is a dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms broad corded muscles. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot and arcing black tattoos alike.
Well met, friend.
He grinned, revealing a row of pointed teeth. Welcome, good to see a new face. Is it armor you're wanting? Or a good blade? Is this your shop? That it is. Been here near 20 years now. Seen all manner of things over the years. Good luck and bad. Taotano glances at the guard standing watch along the wall. But the Black Hammer smithery remains. What do you have here? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be. But we've fine weapons and armor to offer yet. All forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. All my workers ran off with the wagons themselves, maybe, to make some coin. As if that lot would dare. He's right about the bandits. The dire situation in villages like this and the exodus to the cities has created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. Wearing a smoking jacket, a cup of cocoa in one hand, sitting in an armchair. Well, I do sit in some sort of armchair-ish thingy. Taotano scratches his jaw, thinking. If you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon. Or my shipment, at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Raedric. Taotano glances at the nearby guard. And that's as it should be. But it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Where was the wagon traveling from? They send the wagon up to New Heamar with weapons, and it swings around through Logholm and the like to purchase supplies. Shortest route back is through the Black Meadow, and then north through the wilds. Had a trader come through at Worth, they'd made it to Logholm, but haven't heard a thing since. I'll find your supplies. Then you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back and I'll have plenty more to offer you. A discount, to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up or they can take up farming instead.
Well met, friend.
All the side quests. Alright. Let's sell this stuff. Yeah, let's keep the structural weakness thingy. And the bow, of course. I'm sure we can sell one. We've got a lot of those things. Trade! Give me copper! Excellent. Can I rebuy my greatsword? Yes. Excellent. The greatsword that I lost in Properties Herald. +5 to all defenses. Only usable by Paladin. Oh crap. DR9 male armor. Damn. Minor ring of protection. Ooh, he's got quite a lot for someone who doesn't really have anything, as he said. Oh no, not the sword. Get the greatsword in there. Cool. Cool. Excellent. Yes! We've got our greatsword back. Nice. After throwing it after someone in order to rescue them. Right, we're not going to steal. Not again. Alright. We've had the smithy. Now we need to find this guy. Suayit or something. This is the temple, right? Maybe he's here? Maybe he's over at the tree. Cell sword and archer. Nope, just Urgit. Oh, maybe he said Black Hound. Not here? Nope. Because where else to spread rumors rather than the inn, right? That's the place to spread rumors, so... yeah. Yep, there he is. Swinua. Alright, let's confront this guy. With his vile ways. Yo, Swinua.
How do you do?
Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. They weren't cut from much cloth. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. Tumble says you've been threatening his family. I saw you outside the mill. What was that about? Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town, on account of he's got the mill to his name. The dwarfs quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry while some bastards getting rich off their crops. That's what's it fucking about. Now shove off! What if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? Swinyer considers it. Briefly. He looks to the others. Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and I might feel up to trading words.
Good day to you.
So, can I buy a round? Yeah, it's amazing. The game is super cool.
Hello.
I'd like to buy a round for the fellows over there. Fine fellows. You're having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Swinyer from the inn entirely. Until then, it's 6 copper pieces for the lot. It's 6 copper pieces for the lot. Oh, okay. Please, if you can just get them talking, I might be able to convince them to stop harassing the miller. Innkeeper studies you warily for a moment, then sighs. Well, that's alright then. Here, 3 drinks for the 3 fools. You get them off Trumble's back, and maybe he'll be a little less stingy with his supplies. Okay, so yes, we now know that Trumbull is actually not holding anything back. Because everyone's got Trumble's back. And they think Swinyer is just this crappy noob. So we now know that Swinyer is the one we need to deal with. Not seen Astral smile as much in the game than when he finally completed the campaign in Rome 2. Yeah, that's that was something. Alright, let's deal with this Swinyer guy.
Greetings.
You again. What do you want now? I've brought drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I never thought I'd be happy for a mug of the Black Hound shit beer. Gods, that's good. Alright. Then you've got my attention. What is it you got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Crap, resolve 16. Oh, I really need to get my resolve up. Hey, Sneaky, what's up, man? How you doing? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against the wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Maybe you could tell me more about what's going on. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices, He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that folks like Ofra pay half what we do. And maybe we've been a bit rough with him, but what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We're going to starve. And do you think Thrumbler is going to be sorry about it when we do? Why don't I have freaking resolve? Crap. Blechem. If he goes on ask villagers for help, we'll create even more troublesome people. That sucks. And I don't want to put him down. But talking to Trumbull doesn't help, because it only... Ah, Blechem. Why didn't I get more resolve? Luke, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against the wall. Swinyer eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right. Things go on like they are. We're just going to end up hanging from the tree out there. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Oh, excellent. Don't know what we'll do now, with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn? Perfect. That went better than I thought. Philip Rich, thanks for the host, sir. Alright. Let's go to the mill. Report to Trumbler. What's his face? Damn, that resolve though. I should have gotten more resolve.
Good day, stranger.
Trumbull nods a curt greeting. You're back. Have you had any luck with Swainia? Yep. Trumbull takes a deep breath. And what did he say? I've convinced him to leave your family in peace. What? That's really? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. They're out of their minds with drink half the time. I owe you a great debt. Here. Pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation. But you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Glad to help. That's really all you can afford after I saved your family? Let's not push it. But we'll take it. Now we stand a chance of getting through the year. All thanks to you. Safe travels, friend. Definitely. We're not gonna leave. I play a character that doesn't leave rewards, you know. I'm playing a character that doesn't go like, I'm all goody two-shoe and I don't need rewards. I want stuff. Okay, so the tasks are done. It's on to the quests. But before we go on, another break is upon us. Every hour I take a small break of 3 to 4 minutes to give you guys a chance to stretch your legs, take a drink, go to the bathroom, do whatever it is you need to do. I'll be back with part 3 of Pillars of Eternity after this small break. I hope you're all enjoying the show. Stick around if you want to see more.